Alright, MA Marignon, turn 17. This should be a quiet one, hopefully. Oh, wow. Or not. So it looks like our scouts caught a lot. And we are the victim of an assassination attempt by Abyssia, which is interesting. Guess we'll take a look at that first. And Micklin. Oh, this is looking coordinated. Yeah, we got attacked. Holy moly, by 3 people. So this is what I get for not talking with my neighbors. So yeah, we're going to be real busy here. Luckily, I did talk with Ariu, and we have a non-aggression pact with them, which we're definitely going to need. So yeah, let's take a look at these assassination attempts. This is, ooh. This is on top of our capital. This is probably not going to go well. Yeah, divine blessing. Not super helpful, buddy. You better step it up here. Yeah, he's going to get popped. Oh, well. Let's see. I didn't actually know that Micklin got assassins. This is hopefully our holy moly. This is not good. Wow, I did not know that this Teodol is an assassin. So there's not a ton of things that are going to easily assassinate a paladin, but I would say this is definitely one of them. Yeah, he also comes with a bunch of these beast bats. Yeah, we're decaying, never healing wound. Ooh, this is rough. And then, of course, this is going to be that stack of Tiger Riders, no doubt, so we'll at least get to see the Bless. This is going to cancel this fort, I think. Yeah. Ouch. Got some elephants, probably on attack rear, which could be a problem. We'll see. We have enough stuff back here. Alright, let's take a look at these Tiger Riders. Not much. Okay, so he basically has no bless for these Tiger Riders whatsoever, which is good news. Although, yeah, I mean, we're way too badly outnumbered here for it to make too much of a difference. So yeah, this is sad. We lose some infrastructure, lose some knights. They're leaderless. Our knights are unblessed, probably. Yeah, because we lost our leader. Although we do have a friar. But of course they don't hold. Because they don't get their orders since they're unled now. So yeah, this is an unmitigated slaughter. Let's see. Yeah, you know, we get 8 monkey infantry. Not a worthwhile trade. So, you know, yeah, I was not expecting a 3-way coordinated attack, definitely. And then, yeah, we also get attacked. I mean, it is summer, right? So a lot of these attacks are coming through mountain passes. And I do think that Micklin, took heat. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see Micklin's bless here. Okay, so this is looking like probably a prophet, or no? He gets recruitable Holy Threes. So let's take a look at... yeah, this isn't too bad. Berserker +2. Are these guys already Berserkers? Hard to say. So, you know, I don't know. They don't look that crazy. I guess they haven't berserked yet. Berserker +2 isn't, super crazy, and, these stats are pretty meh. Oh, this guy lost an arm. Yeah, still pretty meh. I mean, these guys do get a second shape, and, you know, I mean, decay weapons is gonna suck, definitely. But, you know, it's one of those ones where it's like, well, it'll cause attrition, but it's not necessarily going to win you the battle. Undying 2 is nice because they get the extra hit points in both forms. And Blood Bond is going to, you know, help trigger all the Berserker. But yeah, this is not looking that scary, actually. As far as blesses go, I was expecting more investment anyway. So yeah, maybe this is good. Obviously they're going to have no trouble with our PD. We probably, yeah, any kills at all. That's okay. That's expected. And then let's see. There's a couple of battles here not involving us, so that's good. So Pangea is now our ally. So let's see, you know, how they're doing. I'm not really sure if Abyssia was yeah, if he's part of that attack. There was one assassin on our capital. So, I mean, he might be busy enough that, like, I could, maybe buy him off or talk to him and be like, dude, do you really need more problems with these White Centaur running around? Because I can provide more problems. Abyssia is, like, who we're in position to actually attack right now. Although, obviously, if we don't want to lose everything, we are going to have to move. And then it looks like Ariu and Ind are fighting, which actually makes sense, like, based off, some flag positions that I had thought were Indies, but of course, yeah, it's Ind. And like, yeah, a good stack of like Furbolg and some like siege strength along with some sacreds. Expecting a decent bless here. Yeah, very rainbowy. Attack skill, double defense, combat speed. So maybe just one defense and like double combat speed, because I think you get one defense from combat speed. Blood surge, some strength, a little bit of HP, full magic resistance, full resistances. No shock resistance, which is kind of interesting because I think Ariu is still pretty much an air nation. Not actually 100% on that. Also decay weapons here, seeing quite a bit of decay weapons. But yeah, pretty heavy investment on that bless, which is not surprising because I have played with this player before. Like, yeah, this player is actually the host of these, so he knows that there's going to be a early rumble, and he definitely leans into that with some strong sacreds. Usually, it seems like. And then, yeah, we caught... Okay, so this is Ashdod moving on top of Nazca's capital. And, yeah, this is looking like maybe some patrolling. Not sure. There's not a ton here. No real mage support. I think... Prophet. Okay, and these are sacreds. Interesting. So yeah, I don't know if these guys are going to be up to the task of taking on Anakites. Wow, +8 strength. Okay, this is a pretty serious bless. Also double combat speed, which I don't really understand with flyers. I do think this makes it more likely that you get the first hit in combat. And these guys have a lance charge, so maybe focused on that. But yeah, I'm not sure how combat speed really interacts with flyers or if that's worth it. It kind of seems like it wouldn't be. Heavy attack skill investment. The defense skill, I think, is just, coming from the swiftness. +8 strength, though. You can't ignore that. That's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. These guys, it's a lance, so, you get bonus first strike, and it is pierce. And, I mean, 22 pierce is a lot, for sure. But, like, no magic weapons. And, like, 22 it's a lot, but it's not, like... I don't know, for investing, like, +8 strength, that's not cheap. You just end up with like 22 regular pierce damage from Bronze Lance. Seems a little underwhelming, but the skills are really good for sure. And I mean, it is still a lot of damage, so we'll see. Ashdod's Bless, from what I recall, is kind of rainbowy, with regeneration. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, 50 hit points, regeneration. Like this tall order, he's also got some Bakemono. There they go. We'll see. Definitely going to clean up the Bakemono. They must have gone at attack rear mostly. And they picked off a commander, but not all the commanders, it looks like. And yeah, now they're going to struggle a little bit, I think, with these numbers here. There's not actually like that many of these sacreds. And like the Bakemono, yeah, they get chewed up, but like conversely, like, right, these guys don't have a ton, right? 9 protection. The defense helps, but it will get harassed down, once like the little size 1 guys cluster in. And like the defense isn't good enough because, there's enough attack skill on these Anakites here that they're able to connect, and when they connect, it's like no problem. And then of course they regenerate up, and yeah, ouch. So that goes pretty well for Ashdod, I would say. I mean, they lost a little bit, but not too much. Probably nothing they can't afford to lose. Yeah, Bakemono Chief, who cares? Rephyte Commander, meh. 34 Bakemono, they're really cheap, so not a big deal. And then, yeah, he doesn't lose any of his Anakites. And, yeah, pretty much a total wipe. Yeah, loses all the Condor Warriors. So, yeah, I'd say Nazca's probably done. You never know. Maybe they have a huge stack hiding in their capital. But considering they patrolled their capital and this was on their capital, probably not. They're probably done. It will take, I think, a second for Ashdod to crack the walls, which is good news because they might. We are going to be real busy here. So probably actually going to talk to him and see if I can get a non-aggression pact. We'll see. I think one of the provinces that was hit was on our border. So it might be better to just keep quiet and not draw attention to the fact that we could be in trouble here. The old 2v1 or 3v1. So yeah. Some unexpected events other than, getting attacked. Ooh, some of our astral pearls turned out to be fake. That sucks. But we get some nature gems. So probably kind of a trade I would make. We are going to need some help getting into nature, especially since it's going to be a while. And then let's see. Arena battle. Yeah, we're not going to bother with that. And we lose a scout to Nama, which is, they probably are. This is, near Arcocephale, so they probably are attacking, doing some patrolling. So at least we won't have to worry about Arcocephale, but sadly we will not be able to jump in. Oh, we found a magic site, Moonvine Forest, which is probably like astral nature. We'll see you guys after the jump. All right, and I would describe the current situation as... I thought this was going to be a nice, quiet game where I could build up a little bit, not have an early knockout, drag down war. It was going to be great. I was going to hit research targets. We were going to just roll over people with the right research, take infrastructure. It was going to be beautiful, guys. But it's not to be. 2v1, wasn't expecting it. Now, I do say 2v1, right? That's, life is full of weirdness. I thought for sure, it's like, what are the odds? Like, Abyssia starts assassinating us. He's got stuff on our border. Like, it's the same turn. It would be pretty nasty if all three of them were coming in. Like, I'd probably be screwed. I don't think we'd be able to fight our way out of that. You never know. Certainly wouldn't give up. You always got to die hard, I think, simply to make sure that next game people don't mess with you, if nothing else. As I think this does kind of adequately demonstrate, people talk a lot about whether to nap, whether to not, and how to do diplomacy and et cetera. And, I was lazy this game, definitely, right? Because I was planning on going for an approach where I would sign a lot fewer naps, just to see how that went. Obviously, it went badly. And I think this is normal. Like, if you don't reach out and talk with your neighbors, right, people don't really know what you're up to. And so that kind of makes you an attractive target, I think, just like from a human standpoint. Like, also, like, you're not really like a person yet. When you talk with someone, like, I think naturally, like, you develop a little bit of rapport, and it makes you if you have a choice between attacking someone who's not communicating versus someone who's friendly, I think most people naturally gravitate, towards the person that's not communicating. And I think that's just human nature. So I think that, going with the fewer naps approach could maybe still work and maybe wouldn't always result in this sort of situation. But it's not a license to not talk to your neighbors, right? Like, you still have to go do the diplomacy if, you don't want to face 2v1s and coalitions and et cetera. So lesson learned, but of course, also important to not jump to conclusions. So like I said, I thought for sure Abyssia, was in on this, but I didn't make any accusations and just reached out to him because, Abyssia, I feel like it's going to be easiest for us to fight them. Like, we have a big army on their border. Like, they're already, fighting like with Pangea, who apparently is basically getting eaten by man. I kind of heard that from multiple people. So, maybe they're not as occupied as I thought. But, I kind of just reached out and was like, what can I do to make this work? Like, I really, not looking for a fight here. And I was ready to give up territory. I didn't mention that. And thankfully I didn't, because like he was basically just like, well, you have a huge stack like on our border, so like I just started assassinating, which, like, okay, fair enough. That's definitely aggressive. But he was actually interested in a non-aggression pact, so still actually haven't gotten the full agreement. So we'll see, like, maybe a little bit of misdirection there. I don't think so, but it's not impossible, because, we kind of talked back and forth, and he mentioned he was interested in a nap, but never actually explicitly agreed to a nap 3. which I'd, kind of countered with. So we'll see. I think, maybe he just missed it or like didn't respond, or, just trying to muddy the water, and maybe it really is a coalition of 3, but I don't think so. And that's how I'm playing. So we're bringing this army up, was going to cover like the throne with it, or maybe just like attack into Abyssia like immediately, because we are still doing a lot of recruitment. Obviously, like our fort got knocked down, so that's really bad. And I mean, we talked about how we're vulnerable up here, and like this was probably a mistake. Like if I had been building the fort here, which is a much safer location, death scales, so probably wouldn't build it there. Anyway, like the fort wouldn't have died, right? Would have finished, and we would have been in a much better position, like to try to defend ourselves. Because now getting reinforcements is going to be a real hassle. But it is what it is. You don't get to choose your wars and etc. And then of course, like this fort is now hugely at risk. But like we should be able to cover it with our army. And if we take a fight in a cave, I think that's going to favor us heavily because we have Spirit Sight on our bless. So we don't care about darkness, and I'm pretty sure the Jaguars do. So yeah, this forced me to do a bunch of diplomacy. So Abyssia was not the only person that I talked to. So theoretically, we're secure with Abyssia, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like I said, Ariu actually reached out to me, and we agreed to a NAP 3. This is actually the TNN player. So like, yeah, he just kind of pointed out, we sort of did this dance already. Him with the elves, me with the heavily armored Fire Nation, and I was happy to not repeat that dance. So I think, we're pretty safe on this border, at least for the time being. He's a good player, an aggressive player, definitely. So, if we collapse, absolutely he'll end the nap and come in. But I think we have... we've gained enough currency, enough credit with him to give ourselves like a chance, right? Even if he sees an enemy flag show up on our border, like he knows that we can battle back. So we should have a little time there. And then I reached out to Tianqi. I've talked all game about maybe attacking them. I am not salty, about like these Amazons here, but obviously like I would like them. So I'm not thrilled, that I'm not going to be able to get them. But I offered them a non-aggression pact because, we're about to be throwing our forces completely in the opposite direction. And they're fighting with Shiniyama, I think, like based off his comments. He mentioned that he was busy squashing goblins. So that's good news. And then, of course, like Arcocephali is busy with Ubar. I haven't really confirmed that, but we can just see like, this used to be, this was independent and like independent. And now, it's Arcocephalian, and then this was, it says White Waste, but it's not. This is Nabah. So we're attacking Nabah. In Nabah, our scout got patrolled out. This is actually all just PD. I'm not sure, like, this might have been increased. But anyway, so this is Nabah's capital, and it looks like, these two are fighting, and yeah, maybe Nabah's not quite as big as I thought, and like, maybe Arcocephali has a chance. Either way, didn't bother reaching out, going for a non-aggression pact with them because, I'm still interested in feasting. But, we have, much bigger problems, of course. I reached out to Xibalba and, passed along Miklin's bless to them. I reached out to Yis and passed along Bandar's bless to them. Xibalba said that Phlegra is massing on their border, so they're expecting to be busy real soon, but they're not disinterested in attacking Miklin. So I let them know, I told them I would let them know, if I killed a big stack of Jaguars. I might not tell them right away, depending on how badly I need help, because I think Miklin is probably... that's the capital that we're going to get. Because, like, Bandar, like, man, if I can just convince Bandar to go away, that would be ideal. Because I don't really want their territory. The throne would be nice. Maybe pick up a few provinces, but I don't even know where their capital is. Not really close enough. So I think, like, Miklin is going to be, like, more the main focus in terms of, like, where we're going to try to pick up territory in this war. Of course, we may just end up we may end up losing, right? Like here I'm getting 2-1. Like, it's fine. We're going to pick up some territory. So we may just be looking at like surviving, right? And retaining like what we already had, which is still like a good amount of territory. So, we'll see. And then I didn't reach out to Ashdod, right? And we know obviously they're kind of busy right now with Nazca, but it is kind of winding down. And I think they probably would be interested in coming in on Micklin, but like maybe a little too interested, right? So, I mean, we definitely don't want them to land on Micklin's side of the war, right? And come attack us to the south. So, yeah, I just haven't really reached out because, like, going to keep an eye on this. And then, probably when they take the capital, then I'll reach out and, we'll see where the war is. Hopefully I'll have some good news for them. But yeah, there's, if they come in, there's a decent chance that they're going to pick up a little too much territory. So yeah, that's kind of like the diplomatic situation. Yis also, mentioned that they were interested in picking up some, territory from the monkeys, but they mentioned that they were probably going to have to try to kill Relay soon. So they're probably going to be pretty busy. That said, like, I'm really not sold, honestly, on either of these blesses. I think we're going to clean up these Tiger Riders. Now, we are going to struggle a bit with their defense. Forget, did we put any attack skill on our knights? I think we put a little. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so we got attack skill +2. Where does that put our knights? Yeah, it's only attack skill 14, right? 14 v 17, that's not great. And then our defense is only 15. But we got a little bit, I think, on the bless there as well. Yeah, defense +3, so that's going to help. Like, right there, their attack skill wasn't fantastic either. Now, they have more attacks, so they're going to drive down our defense faster. And yeah, they're decently, like, they have good strength overall. But, like, our protection is much better. Well, actually, their protection is better than I thought. So yeah, maybe we don't stack up so hot to these Tiger Riders. But I still think we're going to do pretty well overall, especially too, like, these guys only have a buckler and they don't have great protection, so they're not going to love crossbow fire, right? And then the bless does basically nothing for these Tiger Riders, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I mean, reinvigoration, that does actually help a little bit, but only in like a really long grindy fight. Not really what we're going to be looking at here. And like magic resistance 3, if I was trying to like soul slam or something like that, would be a little annoying. So it's not like it does nothing for them, but we're going to be fire magic, flaming arrows, right? So flaming arrows is going to be pretty good against these Tiger Riders. No fire resistance, and our knights are at least a match. And I think like with our extra strength and everything, I think we are gonna do significantly better. We also have a charge attack. They do not, and like we can one-shot these Tiger Riders with a charge attack, whereas we're pretty unlikely to get one-shotted in return. And that can matter a lot, right? In a fairly even fight, to have the numbers swing decisively early in your favor is nice. So anyway, I think we stack up real well. I'm not too worried about this. I think we can absolutely like wreck this stack with our stack. They are super killy. Actually, we can see here's our knights unblessed, right? And so they do hold up, but as you can see, they are struggling to connect, definitely. So obviously our bless is going to help close that hole, and in some ways we just need our knights to hold these guys back while they just get absolutely pounded by flaming arrows. And then of course when we do kill the rider, they do get a tiger, but like, yeah, if we can beat the rider, we can beat the tiger. So not too worried about this stack. We'll see what he has coming in afterwards. But of course, that's not the only stack that we're up against. So let's go look at the other stack of sacreds that's hitting us, and this is certainly like not all of his sacreds, so there's more out there. This is maybe a little bit more balanced, less of a doom stacky sort of approach, but still like a good number of his sacreds. And this bless is definitely going to be doing more for his sacreds, and his sacreds hit real hard. No protection though, no shield, right? Like these guys are like just absolutely ideal targets for flaming arrow spam. And not that crossbowmen are a bit like overkill for this level of protection, right? It's like it would almost be better if I just had a stack of like short bowmen. But like we're gonna kill them real nice. And considering that they go into a second form with a lot of hit points, it's not so bad we have crossbowmen. But anyway, so yeah, flaming arrow is gonna be great against these guys, so I like that matchup. And then, like, this bless, I don't know, I'm not sure how much this Berserker is really going to help them, right? It's going to bump their protection, like, 2 to 9, so that's kind of inconsequential. And then I think it increases their strength, maybe. Or I know it increases their attack, right? And honestly, it doesn't even increase their attack to the point where it's really like that scary. I mean, their attack will be decent, but I think they're actually going to kind of struggle a bit to connect with our knights, who have pretty good defense. Now, when they do connect, they deal enough damage, they're going to get through our protection, but we have enough protection that this damage is going to look kind of chippy, especially since it's not pierce damage. Now, they do get the withering weapons, right? We don't have great magic resistance, although, ironically, we get anti-magic just as a consequence of going down enchantment for flaming arrows, and we can cast anti-magic, right? We are an astral nation, and I think that's going to help us, right? Because it's a magic resistance check. Yeah, start to decay if they fail a magic resistance roll. So I don't even know if it's worth bringing out the mages to do anti-magic, probably, but we'll talk about why not in a second. But anyway, so withering weapon's going to be much less of a concern and not really going to help in the battle itself, just going to make the attrition worse, which is a problem in a 2v1. And then, the blood bond, I mean, honestly, that's going to kind of help us in some ways, for the charge. So it's going to make sure when we do our charge damage, any overflow damage is going to go out, into his nearby sacreds. Now, they do get the second shape, right? They're going to transform into a were-jaguar, and I'm not sure how scary. I mean, jaguar warriors are definitely scary, right? They're one of those sacreds that, you can hellbless, and they can be really nasty. But this is not a hellbless. A little bit of undying, not a big deal. This just isn't that scary of a bless. So I think our knights are going to stack up pretty well to both of these factions, and then the flaming arrows is going to be way more valuable than some of the targets I was considering. So maybe it's a good thing that these guys are attacking. We'll see. Time will tell. And that brings us to the final wild card, which we saw earlier. The Teodal, right, who's going to be out and about assassinating people. And I've played with this player before. They seem to like, a strong early pretender that they kit out. That's definitely a super cool way to play. And this guy's going to be reasonably annoying. He's got nature. I'm sure he's going to have personal regeneration, right? He's got fear. He's got decent protection. He has good hit points. His skills are good enough. Can we kill this guy? Absolutely. Our knights will at least be able to chip him, I think. And, certainly if we get a good charge and bring him down a lot, that'll help. But especially with this susceptibility to fire. Now, granted, he could change this kitting and probably should, considering he's attacking Marignon. But that's what he has on right now. And flaming arrows, a bunch of crossbows into this guy. Oh yeah. That's actually going to do work. So I think we have a good shot at killing this guy, even with our current tech. It's not perfect, but we're still going to try to climb Alteration, which is a bit risky. I was thinking about going, into Thaumaturgy for Soul Slay, which is kind of the normal counter. But Incinerate is really effective, and I'm not sure actually how much fire Micklin gets. I'll have to take a look at that, but it might be a little bit annoying. Obviously, it's not on the bless, right? And he's super susceptible to fire right now. So if we can make it to Alteration 5, which is a big ask, but then again, Soul Slay is at Thaumaturgy 5. So either way, we're a little ways off, from some sort of super combatant answer. But at Alteration 5, we get Incinerate, which is a fantastic, anti-elite fire spell, which we can cast. So that'll help us a lot, and it picks us up Solar Eclipse, which is going to help a lot in army fights, right, to fix our problem of, hitting the enemy sacreds. So I think we're probably still going to focus on Alteration. And then this is the reason that how many mages do I want to bring out? Because this guy is an assassin. He's going to be active as an assassin. Anywhere that our stack is, he's probably going to be dogging it. And I don't know. We'll see. I've never really dealt with a pretender assassin, so we'll probably try to patrol him out at various points. But I mean, no mage is safe anywhere, right? Because this guy can sit on top of our capital, and he may try to lock down our capital. So, we'll see. There's a lot of options, a lot of possibilities. But yeah, we're probably going to lose some mages to this guy. Once we get Incinerate up, we'll be a little harder to assassinate. But I think, especially because he gets these beast bats, this is really powerful, right? Because he gets, flying, and they're sacred too. Not that it really matters here, but anyway, the main thing is that they're flying. So in an assassination battle, right, they're going to jump in real quick. Oh yeah, and the pretender flies too. So anyway, yeah, this guy's going to assassinate people. This is not the last commander that we're going to lose to this guy, but he is totally killable. So, you know, not all is lost. The diplomatic situation is not as bad as I first thought it was, right? We're only in a 2v1, probably, fingers crossed, rather than a 3v1. Managed to like probably secure kind of our like southwestern border. And we know that our other two neighbors are occupied, right? And we've reached out to, you know, neighbors of our enemies, and they're at least somewhat interested and aware that these guys are going to be busy. So there's a fair chance, you know, that we get some pressure taken off. And then, yeah, I kind of like our odds, you know, against in an army v army fight. So, you know, in terms like what are we actually up to? We're just pulling back for now. Yeah, I am patrolling. I was about to go nuts, you know, and I thought it was when Abyssea was part of the coalition, and like witch hunters actually get a patrol bonus. So yeah, I was gonna have some mages patrolling. Did give a few bodyguards to our more important guys, but yeah, we really do need research. Patrolling with mages is not ideal, but we are bringing back, you know, all of our other stuff and doing some patrolling. So if Abyssea is not on the level, or like even if he is on the level, like if you have an assassin on my capital who has assassinated some of my mages, like I'm going to try to patrol that out regardless of anything else. So yeah, so we're going to try to patrol that guy out. And then otherwise, like this will probably form like our secondary stack. It is very sad that we just got our Holy 3 assassin or our Holy 3 assassinated. Because, yeah, that would just make it easier to operate 2 stacks. We don't have a ton of sacreds yet, so it's fine. We'll shuffle balanced paladins around. Probably should be recruiting more random indie commanders to help dilute the assassination attempts. That'll probably start up next turn. In recruitment-wise, like knights in the capital, getting another grandmaster, not full panic yet. And then, you know, more crossbowmen, a paladin here again, because we're going to be losing commanders to assassins, and I really don't, you know, yeah, we're going to be losing commanders to assassins, so we're going to need extra commanders, and we're going to need extra blessing. So, you know, sad to not be getting a mage there, just an initiate here, and that's all we can get here, and then some crossbowmen. Yeah, actually a little bit gold limited. We will be getting some alteration research soon, so yeah, probably going to be dumping some of these fire gems into some extra gold. But yeah, you know, I mean, we got some infrastructure knocked down, but that's kind of the advantage of having a lot of infrastructure at home here. Like this is all very safe. Like we're going to be able to pump units out of this like for some time yet. Yeah, I think that more or less covers it. Turn 17, things are really starting to heat up. All right, MA Marignon, turn 18. We should be losing 2 provinces this turn, if all goes well. That was an arena battle. I'll take a look at some of that. We definitely did not send anyone. And we failed to infiltrate Abyssea, so they're going to get a notification. They won't necessarily know that it was us, because there is Ariu who also gets spies, but they will get a notification that someone's trying to infiltrate their capital. It does not look like Abyssea attacked us or did any more assassinations, so that is good news. We finished quite a bit of research. We can communion now. That's very nice. We do have flaming arrows. We didn't quite have that before. And then, yeah, here's the 2 provinces we're losing. And let's take a look. Battle in Nazca. This is a little faster. Oh, okay, Nazca's actually riding out. Okay, this could be good. Kind of rooting for Nazca here. It's not something you always say, but not that, you know, I have a particular issue with Ashdod. I just need them to be, you know, busy for a little while. So, yeah, I don't think there were really any buffs on those sacreds. Looks like he went closest, probably. These condors are also sacred. They get, you know, these 2 pretty high damage attacks. Yeah, I mean, they're getting helped a lot by the strength plus. I mean, everybody gets helped a lot by strength plus 8. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the strength plus 8, not so good on these guys. They only get the 1 attack. I don't know, like I said, it's never bad. Even with the strength plus 8 though, I mean, you know, regenerating Anakites, that's a tall order. Like, this is really tough to deal with early on. But yeah, I mean, these Nazca Sacreds should be decently killy. He just doesn't really have the numbers. And I'm not sure that, like, staying inside the castle really would have bought him much, you know, since since he's flyers, and he's probably gonna fly out anyway. Caster wise, it doesn't really look like he has much research, right? Like, yeah, this is mostly just like Holy 3 spam. Yeah, wow, some powerful mages, definitely. This guy's not, but yeah, like he's got what, 4 or 5 Holy 3s here. But it's just, I mean, Smite is decent early on, but again, like regenerating Anakites, you can see they have been taking a lot of afflictions. I'm honestly, I'm not sure how you deal with this. Even as Marignon, I think we would struggle a bit. I do think like crossbows. Does he have fire resistance? I think he does. Ooh, yeah. Oof. That could be a problem. So I guess he's got some inbuilt fire resistance, and then 10 on the bless. So yeah, forget about flaming arrows. But crossbows do deal, decent damage, like 2 heavily armored elites. So yeah, I don't know. They regenerate, so it would be rough. It's actually probably a bad thing, that he sallied out, because it's gonna make the siege go faster. And yeah, only 1 Anakite dies, so that works out really well for Ashdod. But I mean, Nazca's obviously down to it. I think that was a decent effort. But it would have been nice for us if he decided to stay home and drag that siege out. But he's not playing to give me advantages, sadly. And then yeah, there's just 6 PD. We don't need to watch this. I think those Jaguars are going to do fine. Yeah, no attrition whatsoever. He's got a couple warriors there to maybe just make up the numbers. A little bit of like ranged fire, the slingers. And then the tiger stack is gonna also like have absolutely no problem. So yeah, we lose the 2 expected. Okay, an evil lord and his hirelings are trying to take over a land. That's not cool. Oh, and barbarians attack. Yeah, misfortune 3 coming in hard. But we get extra gold here. That's good. We will need that gold, so it's not all bad. We're probably gonna lose both of these. Yeah, there's no PD here really. And then interesting. Let's take a quick look at this. It's fine. These guys will help defend our provinces now. So let's see, the Fire Lord, Fire 2. Okay, this guy, no gems at least. And this guy does have, he's a Death 3 with a lot of Death Gems and some Blood Slaves. This probably isn't going to trigger gem usage because we don't have a ton of PD here. And like, yeah, these Macemen they're okay. They're not great. So yeah, but I think this is fairly far out. I mean, obviously this is not great. Normally, we could just send in, some knights to deal with this without too much trouble. But yeah, we have other problems right now. So yeah, let's take a look at the arena. Looks like Nazca sent somebody in despite getting eaten. I guess he's just a regular old commander. This is not the people's death match, and so like yeah, these crabs are actually kind of nasty, but they're just melee combatants. And spellcasting is definitely allowed in this arena, although there'll be no spellcasting in this battle. So a fight for the ages. I guess these guys are both kind of defensive, but yeah, Crab comes away with it. Doesn't even take any damage. His stats are actually worse than I thought, but yeah, he deals a lot of damage and has 2 attacks, which is nice. But I don't think the Crab is going to go all the way. Yeah, Ermor probably sending some kind of thug or not. Pretty low commitment, typical of the vanilla arena. We have no mods on, so the rewards for the vanilla arena are, not fantastic. So the Crab does take a hit, but, the Mound Kings are not very good. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Yis probably sending in, nope, just a scout. So this is somebody certainly that could, send a thug in. Yeah, these warlords, like, they're just regular Abyssians. But they're actually pretty nasty. They got the heat aura, and then, they have 2 attacks, fairly high damage. Fairly high protection as well. So, okay, Phlegra, we'll see. Maybe they sent a scout in as well. Nope. Okay, so Phlegra actually committed here. This is a cap-only tyrant. Yeah, these guys are, kind of super combatant tier. And yeah, you can see he gets to cast the first mage that we've actually seen in this. Yeah, like the Abyssian commanders, they're good, but they're not these guys. It's kind of sad that he got cursed. Wonder if maybe a lizard shaman somewhere is chuckling. And then, is the crab, right? The crab general. Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, we can watch this, but, the poor crab. Goodbye, crab. Hey, he survives a hit. 2 hits. Holy moly. Yeah, wow. These crab guys, they have a lot of protection. I think they have a lot of natural protection. Yeah, really good natural protection. And, they wear a little bit of armor. No helmet, though. But, yeah. No doubt about how that was going to go down. So, yeah, Phlegra comes away with the arena victory, which is not that surprising. But, there were other people, certainly, that could have challenged. What do they actually get? The Champion's Trident. Yeah, I'm not actually super familiar with that, but I don't think it's super impressive, but he's got it. So yeah, I'll see you guys after the jump. All right, and here's the situation and what we're doing about it. Not too much has changed. No real diplomacy updates yet. I do need to talk to Ashdod. I was going to wait until they actually took Nazca, but considering that failed breakout, I think it's probably basically theirs now. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to them. Yeah, probably just gonna aim for a nap, and we'll probably need to discuss at least a little bit the Micklin situation, since he'll be able to see that I'm being attacked. Micklin actually backtracked to, I guess, backfill rather than just trying to press real deep into our territory. There's definitely reasons to be cautious when attacking. But really works out for us. So this palisade, has a little more time to live. We still need 2 more turns for it to finish. So, we're far from, out of the woods. But that's a good sign. If he'd pressed on right to here, I'm not actually sure we would have been able to block him knocking it down, because I don't think we can. Yeah, we can't make it there in 1 turn. But we're still going to leave it undefended here, especially because he backtracked. We have a little more time. And, the reason that it's risky to, press deep into enemy territory. So Bandar is pressing, and we're going to send everything we've got at him. And I bumped up the PD a little bit. Lion Tribe, not a great choice for PD dumping, but they do like flaming arrows, right? These are archers. These guys throw javelins. But, I was looking at it, and we don't quite have enough money, even, without the full PD dump that I was planning. For recruitment, right? So we could get more crossbowmen here, or maybe more knights. Although, yeah, we really can't afford that. So anyway, yeah, I cut down on the PD a bit. I was looking at it, right, and I think actually let's look at the report. I think it's something like 40 Tiger Riders, right? 33, right? So he's got 33 Tiger Riders. The rest of this doesn't really matter. Like 2 elephants, like whatever. So it's 33 Tiger Riders, right? And we have got a lot. So we've got basically 120 crossbowmen and just shy, like 45 knights, right? So we outnumber his sacreds. And then, we are extra elements, if you will, far, far outclass his. I've set all the crossbowmen to fire cavalry. Not sure if Tiger Riders count as cavalry. They ought to, right? So we'll see. He doesn't have enough stuff. It won't matter. Even if the squads target, a few of his other things, they'll kill it so quickly that I don't think it'll be a big deal. But we would prefer to hit the Tiger Riders sooner. Our cav, just kind of mixed out into different groups, holding and attacking. And then, of course, we have our Flaming Arrows caster. We are bringing out our Fire 3 and Air Random, which, I don't know. It's a little sad. Right, assassinations are a big concern here. Not yet. I'll have to go double check how fast that Teodal moves, but he flies. So, he probably could be here, and he could be heading to my capital. That's a bigger problem. But to that end, we are bringing out a small Witch Hunter communion, which is sad. There's a lot of research that we're losing. And actually, you know what? I should probably I'll put some astral pearls on this guy. This is our gem carrier. So this is I think three battles worth, 3 or 4 battles worth of fire gems. So anyway, these guys are just here as backup Flaming Arrows casters, right? Because the expectation is that we're going to be getting mages assassinated. And then also we've kind of split out as much as possible, right? Like each of these groups is kind of self-sufficient-ish, right? They're not perfectly balanced yet. We probably will rebalance once everybody's in the same province. So that way, if any one of these commanders gets assassinated by the Teotl, obviously the troops under their command will not move, but at least like a good chunk of our forces will move. And, if any one of the forces moves by itself, it'll at least have like a knight component and a crossbowman component. Probably should shuffle, so that each of the knight forces like properly covers the front of their associated crossbowman force, but not expecting to get assassinated by the Teotl this turn. We'll see. Or this coming turn. So anyway, the witch hunters are here as, backup flaming arrows. They shouldn't burn the gems, I'm hoping. They're 2 spells back, which is a little late for flaming arrows, right? Because you only have so much ammo, so the later that you cast flaming arrows, the more arrows that you shoot that aren't flaming. This guy's right at the front. I'm a little bit worried. What's the casting time on this? Yeah, it's 150%, so we'll keep an eye in the battle and see how quickly this goes off. But basically, a little bit concerned that if flaming arrows is in the second slot here, the first flaming arrows won't have finished, and so this guy will be like, oh yeah, okay, flaming arrows, we need that, and then burn the gems. I don't know what he's going to do, right? If the slot doesn't make sense to the AI, and sometimes frustratingly, they'll refuse to cast like resistance spells on themselves. So, you have like 10 shock resistance and you're like, yes, I would please, like 20 shock would be way better. And they're like, nah, I have 10 shock resistance. I'll do something else dumb. So I'm not sure what he'll do here. We don't actually have, we don't have a ton of research here yet. So he doesn't even really have anything else to spend these fire gems on, which is kind of a good thing. So, hopefully he just, will do something random. Like, that's fine. It is a waste, but I think it's going to be a worthwhile waste. Because like I said, I am expecting to get assassinated by the Teotl. Now, as long as we're on the move, I think the people that stay home might actually be at greater risk of assassination. But, I haven't actually dealt with, like, a lot of assassin counterplay yet. So we'll see. But I think as long as we're on the move, it'll be a little challenging to assassinate our stack. Basically, he'll have to predict where it's going to move, which certainly not impossible. So I am expecting some assassination attempts on our stack, and losing flaming arrows would be, a big shift. I think, we'd still win this battle, but I want to crush this stack because we have another stack to deal with. And that's the other thing that these witch hunters will be able to do for us is when we fight against the Micklin stack, with withering weapons, they'll be able to. The witch hunters will be able to cast anti-magic, so they won't. Their presence won't be totally redundant. Assuming that we haven't had a bunch of people get assassinated and they have to be our flaming arrows casters. And this is kind of brittle, of course, right? Because all it takes is one of these witch hunters to get assassinated, right? And then no communion, and we don't have enough pathing. So like this isn't great. But I mean, if the Grand Master gets assassinated. The same story, right? No flaming arrows, of course. But this is just sort of like greater surface area, if you will, right? So it's like, it's pretty unlikely that he hits our Grandmaster out of all these commanders. It's much more likely that he hits one of our witch hunters. So this is a little more susceptible to being assassinated. So we may switch out and bring out another Grandmaster. And we'll have another Grandmaster next turn. Our other Grandmasters, we're having our Astral 3 guys search. Astral 3 is nice because he can summon in our Harbingers later. And it's fine. We'll get more Grandmasters, but I don't want to lose any of them. They're all useful. But anyway, so he's not an ideal flaming arrows caster, and he's good at searching for Astral, so he's going to search here and then hopefully go over to the throne and search. It's kind of annoying that we lost this province to the barbarians. We're going to have to recapture this. I do think we have a bit of time. We can see that Abyssia moved off our border, and you can see the difference that a nap makes, right? Just immediately Tianchi demilitarized this border, which definitely makes me feel better. So I do think we'll have, a few turns to recapture this, but anytime you leave an independent province like on your border, people might snap that up. So we might use like our knight group to recapture that. And then, speaking of assassins and all that business, we are working on, we're bringing in, a bunch of indie commanders. Basically anywhere where we can recruit an indie commander, we're recruiting one. I think we're recruiting like a scout here. And it is just kind of a cheesy way to deal with assassins. I don't love it. But it is pretty effective, right? Because, I mean, especially with the Pretender, it's like every time he assassinates, that's a Pretender turn, which is a big deal. Like, your Pretender can do a lot for you, usually, hopefully. So, like, if he's just hitting a bunch of indie commanders, right, it's like, oh, congratulations, you used a Pretender turn to assassinate a Barbarian Chief. That's obviously great for us and, crappy for him, and will hopefully dissuade him. So anyway, we're going to keep recruiting like as many commanders as we can, and then, stuff our forts with them, stuff our stack with them. We just want a ton of those mofos running around. So we're going to continue to recruit those. We are also going to try a caveman raiding group. So I'm going to, I'm recruiting, maybe I shouldn't recruit. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to recruit a champion this turn because he'll just get assassinated possibly. So we're going to go for like 9 cavemen, roughly, led by a caveman champion. Cavemen are not good, but they do have a decent amount of hit points, right? And like their strength is really good, right? They deal a lot of damage. And so like I'm expecting like 1 or 6 PD. Like I'm pretty sure this was like militia or something. So yeah, I mean, cavemen can take like really lightly defended provinces. They are a bit expensive. Like these guys are 20 gold each to bring in. So that's not great. It's really mostly that it's on the border, right? So they can move relatively quickly. And then like, this province might get taken, whereas this province is less likely to be taken before we're finished recruiting. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Could be a waste of gold, definitely. Obviously, we may not catch the Tiger Riders here. Depends on like how his scouting is. Obviously, he could go here. In which case, like, we'll probably just shard out. So like send a small group of knights under a paladin, like to recapture this province and like probably push. We can see some Tiger Rider reinforcements coming up. Our scouts are moving into positions, so we should have a pretty good idea of Bandar's flow of troops. So we should know what's coming, roughly speaking. So that'll be good. We'll get a scout on the capital. So yeah, anyway, if you have good expansion, then you kind of have good rating too, it's like, cause the PD is just indie types, right? So it's like, if you can knock out a lot of, indie types, then congratulations. You can also knock out people's PD really easily. So our knights are going to be really great raiders. We have enough paladins. We'll be able to split a group out and bless them up, and it'll kind of be easier expansion. And then hilariously, looks like this province rebelled, so our misfortune scales are defending us. Excellent. And it looks like Bandar probably, well, no, it does look like they took heat. So I guess just nobody really has their scales in here yet. Yeah, it's not high Dominion because our Dominion is kind of like fighting back and forth, and it is heading towards winter, right? It's only early fall, but you can see, right, in some of these provinces, and like, I don't think this pass is open anymore, so like these Tiger Riders are just gonna have to hang out until like spring probably, or summer. Maybe if he pushes his Dominion and scales real hard, he'll be able to open this pass. But like, yeah, I'm suspecting that the Bandar player is a newer player, because I think this is a terrible war for them to have taken. Like, I mean, already, like, I'm pretty sure they can't even reinforce. So like, what is this stack even doing? So I'm really hoping, like, the plan right now is wipe this stack from Bandar. That is what I want to focus on, and then open negotiations with Bandar and just suggest original borders, right? It's like, hey, why don't we just forget this ever happened? You go deal with something else. Like, maybe I'll suggest it's like, hey, Arcosafali and like Ubar are both, really busy and fighting each other. Like, you have a, better border, like forts down there. Like, go do that, right? There's an independent province here. We can see Relay has made landfall. I think this was a Yissian province. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, Yiss did mention that they were going to be tangling with Relay. So, this looks like evidence of that. So we'll keep an eye and see how that goes. We're rooting, actually, honestly, I don't really care. I don't really care. I should reach out to Relay, because we just need somebody, to mess with Bandar, and I don't really care which underwater power it is. Both of these are terrible for us to border. Like, we don't like them. They're just both powerful nations. And then, underwater is just a hassle to deal with. So it kind of doesn't really matter, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I'll reach out to Relay and let them know that, like, hey, if you want to bite a Bandar, Hopefully I'll have a screenshot of a bunch of dead Tiger Riders to send to them. But, you know, they're going to keep each other busy. Like I said, they're both powerful nations. But, you know, somebody will win out. And then, yeah, so like I said, kill Tiger Riders, convince Bandar Log that this is a bad idea and a bad war, and that, you know, I'm not looking for vengeance. Like, we can be cool, you know, original borders. Like, let's just forget it happened, and then that way I can focus on Mictlan and make a lot of progress. And I think Mictlan we are going to have to wipe out. Like I said, this is a player that I've tangled with in the past, and, you know, they're also, I mean, I don't know, Bandar's pretty small too. Right, I just think that this is a war that makes a lot more sense for Mictlan, right? So it's like, because their capital's right here, they have a decent border with us. I don't know if they took, I think they took heat scales as well, right? So a lot of these mountain passes that I was hoping, you know, would kind of block his reinforcement and his movement won't really. So we actually do share a substantial border. So anyway, I just think this war makes a lot more sense for Mictlan. Possibly, you know, bit of a grudge match, possibly. You know, I don't know. The player seems really cool. Like, yeah, I have a great time talking back and forth with them. They're a lot of fun. So it's not an unfriendly grudge match, but, like, you know, sometimes it carries over game to game. And you're like, you know what? No, like, this game, like, I'm going to take you down. So I don't know if that's at play there, but I also just think that, you know, again, Mictlan is small. This is a war that makes sense for them. And so I think they're just going to be more committed. Whereas, like, Bandar, especially if this pass is closed, right, and then gets his stack wiped, you know, he might be looking at, like, yeah, maybe this is a bad idea, right? And it's like, okay, original borders, like, even like a NAP 3, like, fine, I'm cool with that. Because again, like, Arcocephaly is kind of, you know, more attractive. Now, once we eat Arcocephaly, you know, assuming like this, you know, who knows? Maybe I get eaten shortly. But, you know, if we eat Arcocephaly, then a war with Bandar makes a lot more sense for both of us, because we have a much bigger border. So anyway, yeah, I think that covers turn 18.